Another day, another video from my friend with the title, "Enough is enough. This is the evidence." Okay, let's see.
This is my son, Ever. Ever's 11 years old, and here in Texas, the mandate right now is that 10 and over have got to wear a mask. Ever has to wear a mask wherever we go, and so we bought this thing this week.
Well, as the title of this video already gave away what we would be looking at, let me talk about this kind of videos. When this video is showing how harmful wearing a mask is using a sensor, you can really divide those into two categories. Either it will measure carbon dioxide and show you how high that value is, or it will measure the oxygen and show how low that value is. As the explanations are almost same for both categories, we'll do it together.
This measures the amount of CO2 that's in the air. Can we just look at the ocean numbers? Carbon dioxide levels and potential health problems are indicated below. From 250 to 350 is the background normal outdoor level, 350 to 1,000 ppm typical level found in occupied spaces with good air exchange, 1,000 to 2,000 level associated with complaints of drowsiness and poor air. Obviously, I don't want ever to have drowsiness or poor air. 2,000 to 5,000 level associated with headaches, sleepiness, and stagnant, stale, stuffy air, poor concentration, loss of attention, increased heart rate, and slight nausea may also be present. And then 5,000 ppm or more. This indicates unusual air conditions where high levels of the other gases also could be present. Toxicity or oxygen deprivation could occur, meaning do not hit 5,000. All right, here we go. Right now we're at 848. So I'm going to go ahead and just insert this right like as he did, right underneath, and try and keep it. That feels pretty tight right there, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can just breathe naturally. Let's just see what happens. Okay. All right, so we're at 1,367. We've already just passed 2. So now we're in the place where he could be having headaches. He can be, we're at 3,786. Look at this, we've just passed 5,000. Now we're in the toxic level. Right now we could be doing this 7,000 inside this mask of the CO2, 8,000 parts per million. And now this thing's gone off the Richter scale, folks. It can't even register how high the CO2 levels are inside.
Okay, first, something even school children knows that these people seems to miss somehow. We do this thing called breathing. When we perform this complicated action, our lungs, being quite smart, takes in the air which contains different gas. Roughly by volume, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 0.965% argon and 0.04% carbon dioxide, plus some helium, water, and other gases. The permanent gases in air we exhale are roughly 78% nitrogen, 15 to 18% oxygen. We retain only a small amount, 4 to 5% carbon dioxide, and 0.96% argon. Thus, end of this process, once we exhaled, that contains around 3 to 6% less oxygen and a huge increase in carbon dioxide. From 0.04%, it goes up to 4 to 5%. Just in case you're wondering where this extra carbon is coming from. Well, in simple terms, it comes from the carbon in the food we eat. Don't worry, the carbon is contained in glucose. So any working sensor would show a high increase in carbon dioxide and decrease in oxygen. Okay, that explains what is happening. But the burning question here is, how harmful is it? As looking at the video, you'd imagine you're breathing back the same exhaled air. Well, for carbon dioxide molecules are tiny, far smaller than droplets containing coronavirus, which the masks are designed to stop, and thus won't be trapped by a breathable material. When you breathe out, the carbon dioxide will go through and round the type of mask most commonly worn, and is unlikely to build up to that extent that it causes health issues. Unless you have something that is airtight fit. Now I'm sure we have all seen enough gangster movie to know what I'm alluding to. The same thing applies to oxygen. Following is recycled from my earlier video regarding face mask, where I go into a lot more details into different type of mask. I'll put a link to that in description below. Let's see some real-life examples where people wear surgical masks a lot of the time, though we might be calling those by a different name, like balaclava or bandana. If you're American, you might also know it as a ski mask. Race drivers must wear balaclavas made by fire-retardant material underneath their crash helmets. The United States Marine Corps use balaclavas with hinged face guards as part of their flame resistance organizational gear program. In the Soviet Union, the balaclava became a part of the standard OMON, their Special Police Task Force, uniform as early as 1980s. Then there is bandana, which became an important symbol in the fight for workers' rights. The West Virginia Coal Miners' March of 1921 was one of the largest armed uprisings in labor history, and at that march, over 10,000 United Mine Workers wore red bandanas to demand unions, an event many equate to the popularization of the derogatory term redneck. Finally, surgeons use surgical masks all the time while operating on people. Do I really need to say anymore? Dr. Maitiu O Tuathail, a doctor based in Dublin, conducted an experiment that debunked the claim that wearing a facial covering negatively impacts the wearer's oxygen levels. On his video, O Tuathail puts 6 face masks on his face as he records his pulse rate on a pulse oximeter. The pulse oximeter showed no change in the doctor's oxygen levels after putting on the medical coverings. One of my favorite YouTuber, Thunderfoot, also did a very detailed test debunking this claim. Again, link would be in description. Dr. Rich Davis posted several images on Twitter. First, he sneezed, sang, talked, and coughed toward an Agar culture plate, with and without a mask. Bacteria colonies show where the droplets landed. On the petri dishes, you can see how much difference wearing a mask makes. Just to recap, we talked about why the sensor returns the data it does. Then we talked about how the surgical masks are made from breathable materials and allows carbon dioxide molecules to pass through. We discussed real-life examples where people wear masks for a long period of time while handling dangerous items, maybe a surgical knife, a gun, or a fast car. I have linked videos that actually shows real-time experiment with a blood oxygen meter. As you'd agree, if you can measure how much oxygen is in our blood, and if this mask truly did what all the claims suggest, we would see that reflect in our data. And parodying one's son to promote bad sciences, well, bloody disgusting. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed it today, please do like and subscribe. It would be thoroughly appreciated. Have a safe day. Signing off.
We are one.